So I want to do something a little bit different today. I want to see just how many famous places I don't know. As the more I play GeoGuessr, the more I realize just how little of this world that we all share do I actually know about. I'm much dumber than I thought I was, and that's great to discover. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joey, and I make videos about the interesting places I find when I play GeoGuessr. So let's get into it. And we are... Ooh... This feels famous. Is this Ukraine? I don't know. The hammer and sickle. Ooh. Yes, okay. Ukraine flag. Cool. We've got this monument. We've got some tanks. We've got... Weird Roswell. What's this flying saucer? It's probably a cauldron. Does it have a big fire in it? That'd be cool. We've got this... Is that a minaret? I'm not sure. Not sure. But we do... need to work out where in Ukraine we are. Ukraine is quite big. So we're gonna go with Kyiv, Lviv, somewhere towards the east. We've got 1 minute. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna do it in round number one. For me, it's between Lviv and Kyiv. I think I'm gonna go Lviv, and I think I'm gonna regret it. But for whatever reason, a part of my gut is saying that it's not Kyiv, but I don't know why. Let me have a look at this sign, please. Oh, there's no pixels. What about now? Go on, give me a pixel. No. I'm gonna regret not going Kyiv. Yes, I am gonna regret not going Kyiv. Well, let's have a little deep dive on that, shall we? Kyiv, of course it's Kyiv. Why would it not be Kyiv? It's a massive, great, giant monument. Of course it's going to be somewhere prominent in the middle of the capital city. What a dummy. But I am generally a vibes-based player, and my gut was saying Lviv, and I didn't talk myself out of Lviv. I think because I saw that gold-topped church building, that definitely led me towards Lviv, as Lviv does have loads of ornate white and gold churches, and in that moment I just couldn't see past that association. Now, we were in the grounds of the National Museum of the History of Ukraine in the Second World War, and it is one of the largest museums in Ukraine, featuring over 300,000 exhibits, with the focal point being the Mother of Ukraine statue, standing 62 meters tall, although if you include the base and the plinth, it's actually 102 meters tall. The sword alone is 16 meters and weighs 9 tons. Now, during the game, I did think it was unusual that the shield depicted the Soviet heraldry hammer and sickle, but in 2023, 2 years after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, this symbol was replaced with the Ukrainian coat of arms, the Trizub. Now, interestingly, I did find this Wikipedia page of the world's tallest statues, and the Mother of Ukraine currently stands at number 30. And I was surprised to see that the Statue of Liberty wasn't in the top 50 list, which is 46 meters tall, and nor did I see the Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil, which is 38 meters tall. But when I think of big, imposing statues, those are the two that come to mind for me. But yeah, not even in the top 50. But topping the list of the world's tallest statues is this Statue of Unity in India, measuring a whopping 240 meters, which is 5 Statue of Liberties. That is staggeringly big. And then finally, we did see this giant bowl, which reminded me of that Roswell looking UFO, but it's actually the Flame of Glory, and due to its vast fuel needs, it's only lit on special occasions. That was a very interesting round number one. Let's see where the game took me for round number two. Ooh, is this the Great Wall of China? Oh, it's a long wall though. How am I going to work out which part of the wall I'm on? Oh, that's the game, isn't it? That's the game. Which part of the wall? Where even is the wall? What part of the... Does it separate China from Mongolia? Or from... I don't even know... Who is the wall to hold back? I've got a lot more questions than I thought I would. Because I knew they had a wall, but what was the wall for? I have no idea. Can we logic this out? So there's loads of mountains. Now, Bhutan and Nepal have loads of mountains. It's not going to be Tibet, is it? I mean, it could. I mean, is it? I don't. Oh man, I'm just discovering I don't know. Where logically makes the most sense to invest in building a ginormous wall? Who do we want to keep out? Or could it be... like Mongolia, but Mongolia's not that mountainous. Oh, I've found myself in such a puzzle. Oh, right, I'm enjoying this. I'm quite looking forward to going down a big rabbit hole about the Great Wall of China. Oh, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. I'm going here. Oh, Beijing. So if we zoom in enough, do we see? Oh yeah, Great Wall of China. So the wall was to the east. All right, we've got some finding out to do here. Okay, so I have done a load of research about the Great Wall of China, and I couldn't have been more wrong earlier. Construction on the Great Wall of China started about 2,700 years ago, but it wasn't just one big wall separating one area from another area, but a series of interconnecting walls going through a number of different provinces. Generally speaking, the Great Wall of China was built to protect against various nomadic groups from the Eurasian steppe or steppe. But this raises another question. What is the Eurasian steppe? Well, the Eurasian steppe is an area of grassland stretching about 5,000 miles from Hungary through Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan to northeast China. Since the Paleolithic or early Stone Age era, this flatland has been the main overland route between Europe and Eastern Asia, also known as the steppe route, which subsequently evolved into the more commonly known Silk Road. Now, like I said, I was surprised to find that it isn't just one long wall. In my head, I always imagined it or assumed that it was just one long wall from one side of a border to another side of a border. But it is actually a series of walls within walls which often don't connect, and they sprawl through a number of different locations. Now, there are sort of two walls, so to speak, or two different defining types of walls. We have the all-encompassing Great Wall of China, which covers 13,000 miles. 13,000, with multiple meandering defensive lines of ramparts, trenches, ditches, rammed earth walls, and individual fortresses. But then we also have the Ming Wall section, which is the famous part, built between 1368 and 1644, and it spans 5,000 miles across China's northern Mongolia border. And that's what we were looking at. It uses aesthetically pleasing cut stone blocks and kiln-baked bricks interspersed with its iconic watchtowers. Now, these newer sections are generally the most well-preserved and are pretty much what we associate visually when we think of the Great Wall of China, or that's at least what I think of when I think of the Great Wall of China. Now, the best preserved touristy areas of the wall are closer to Beijing, most notably the Badaling and Mutianu sections, and I should have clocked that we were in a relatively touristy area, as there were loads of tourists visible in our footage. But I think I sort of disorientated myself from using logic once I realized that I didn't know anything about the Great Wall of China, and I panicked and just scattergunned around the country. I definitely learned a lot in this round, and I hope you did too. Let's see if I did any better in round number 3. Ooh. Ooh. Is that a stadium? Ooh. Okay. So Europe, Scotland. Is this Edinburgh Castle? Is it? So it's a stadium that's having a concert. We've got but that is a Scottish flag. Can you help me? Upper Ward. Is this Edinburgh Castle? Oh wait, is this where they have the military? Oh, okay, right. Bear with me. What do they have? They have that big event. Oh, what's it called? What do they call it? The big thing that they have in Scotland. You know, at this place. I can't get there. My brain's turned to mush, unfortunately. David's Tower, Upper Ward, Langstairs, way out. War Memorial, Great Hall, Royal Apartments, Scottish Crown Jewels. But I think I do have to go Edinburgh Castle. Right, we've got a church directly to our east. Could that be St. Giles Cathedral if we were like here? St. Giles Cathedral, that could be St. Giles Cathedral, could it? I don't think I've got this right. I don't think I have. Oh, I have. Sweet. Nice. Well, close enough-ish. But yeah, so we would have been looking down into the... Yeah, I sort of got a bit twisted around there. What is it they do though? What's that event? That's going to drive me up the wall. Right, let's just cut to me talking about the thing that I can't remember right now. It's called the Edinburgh Tattoo, and it is really famous. As soon as I finished recording this gameplay, my brain was like, it's called the Tattoo, you dummy. Or, well, actually, I've researched it, and to be more specific, it is called the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. Now, this isn't loads of soldiers each giving each other ink tattoos in the castle ground, but it is an elaborate theatrical performance involving military bands. The origin of the tattoo comes from the Dutch Doden Taptoe, meaning turn off the tap, where military drummers would play to signal to tavern owners that it was time to close off their beer taps as the soldiers needed to return to their barracks at a reasonable time. Then later evolved into a tattoo being a rhythmical last duty call of the day, as well as a ceremonial form of evening entertainment performed by military musicians. Every August since the 1950s, ceremonial military tattoos have been performed to the public in the grounds of Edinburgh Castle, specifically in an area called the Esplanade, which is not a very Scottish word. It is a French word for a wide open space of firm ground used for recreation or military drills. Now, the stadium terraces are temporary, and it is pretty incredible how the cantilevered terraces overhang the castle walls on Johnson Terrace to make the most out of the limited space. Other parts of the custom-built terraces are made to specifically fit around existing statues or monuments. Now, we can probably guess that this footage was captured in late July or August, as the tattoo runs for 21 nights in August as part of the Edinburgh Fringe, and I checked the footage and it was captured in July 2013. Bonus point to me. Now, Edinburgh Castle's Esplanade was created in 1753, although it was laid out in its current form in 1816. And this led me to one further rabbit hole or discovery, as the next sentence on this Scottish Places website says, this area was favoured as a place of execution for centuries. A plaque in a fountain at the northeast corner was erected in 1894 as a memorial to the 300 women burned here as witches between 1479 and 1722. And I did not expect to read that sentence. Wow. In 1563, Scotland enacted the Scottish Witchcraft Act, which made the practice of witchcraft and consulting with witches a capital offence. And as an Englishman, when I read that, I was like, oh, you crazy Scots, what are you like? But then I did some more research, and Queen Elizabeth I actually passed the exact same law, but 1 year earlier. And then I did even more further reading, and I learned that this was actually all started 20 years earlier by Henry VIII with the Witchcraft Act of 1541. And then it all made sense. A man who famously had 6 troubled marriages? Of course he believed in witches. Of course he did. This was my kind of rabbit hole. Thank you for indulging me in that tangent. Now, we also saw this sign for the Scottish Crown Jewels, which I've learned are actually officially known as the Honours of Scotland. They're only informally known as the Scottish Crown Jewels. And the centrepiece of the collection are the crown that was likely passed down from Robert the Bruce, a sceptre that was a gift from Pope Alexander VI in 1494, and then this sword of state, a gift to James IV from Pope Julius II. Well, that was all super interesting, and a couple of rabbit holes that I did not expect to go down. Let's see how it went in round number 4. Ooh. Bruges? No. Cassemetren. Not familiar with that word. I mean, Europe, we're thinking Europe. We're thinking Belgium, France, Netherlands. How do we get out of here? Are we just trapped? Slotskirchen, Castle Chapel. These are cool. Alright, folks. Castle Chapel. Kronberg Conference. Kronberg feels Scandi. Can we get out here? Yes, we can. Right, get me out of here. Okay. Ooh. Cool. Alright, but we have to keep it. Oh, okay. Oh, alright, we're out. What is it? Okay, this is cool. Was that a flag? Hold on, if I... Oh, I'm terrible with flags. So I have like flagnesia or something, but I cannot do flags. Right, so that is not Swedish. It's not Danish, is it? Oh, I'm so bad at flags. As soon as a flag could be confused with another flag, or if they're all grouped into like the same sort of flag world or area, my brain just muddles them all together, and I get really stressed out. Now, we've got water directly to our east, and we've got stuff on the other side of the water as well. So I'm going to assume we're somewhere quite built up, and we are definitely not in Denmark. Oh wait, is that Denmark? No. Oh, all I know is that it's not Sweden. Oh, I'm about to look so stupid. Oh, but that's what this channel's all about. It's about learning from my failures. Kronberg. Is it Denmark? It looks pretty flat and there was water. You know what? I now think it's Denmark. Kronberg. Can we get a Kronberg? I mean, I'm not currently seeing anywhere called Berg, and we've got 10 seconds. Oh, I'm going to be really upset about this. I can feel it, but that is life. Sonderberg, I'm going here. Sort of tracks, there's water, feels very European. Didn't look at the direction of the water. Water was to our east. Helsingborg. Kronberg Slot. Ooh. Oh, cool. Oh, like defensive armament right at almost the most easterly point in the country. This is a cool looking castle, isn't it? Holger Dansk. Right, so one, I need to find a way to drill into my head what the Danish flag looks like. I need some sort of memory device mnemonic. Two, we need to Google what this cool castle fortification was, because that looks awesome. Right, let's get Googling. All right then, so this place was very cool. Originally called the Krogen Fortress and built in the 1400s by Danish King Erik of Pomerania, it served as a base for his taxation operation of ships using the Øresund Strait between Helsingør and Helsingborg. To enforce his power, he built a fortress at the narrowest point of the river crossing, the Hook, or in Danish, known as the Krogen. 200 years later, Frederick II modernized the fortress as the new threat of being bombarded by artillery meant that there were now many weaknesses in the existing fortifications, and he expanded the complex by extending the advanced bastions, creating larger perimeters between the original Krogen and any new potential threat. He also made extensive refurbishments to the royal residential quarters and renamed Krogen to Kronborg, meaning Crown Castle. And interestingly, I didn't expect to learn this, William Shakespeare used Kronborg Castle as the setting for Hamlet, probably his most well-known play. And as someone who doesn't know much about Shakespeare, I only just learned that the actual full title of the play is The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, and the whole play pretty much happens within the various castle grounds of Kronborg. So that's the history of the castle. But there is a much more important lesson that I had to learn in this round. Flags. I have always struggled with flags. Like I said, I think I've got flagnesia. And I was thinking to myself, I need to come up with a way to finally drill into my brain the specific differences within the Scandinavian flags. Now, I've always been a fan of memory devices where you associate something with something that you're already interested in. And so I was thinking to myself, what am I already interested in? And then I realized, there is something that I'm interested in that has already taught me the different flag color combinations. I just hadn't realized that I'd learned it yet. So I like football. And let's say I just imagine Erling Haaland scoring for Norway. What do I see in my mind's eye? I see Erling Haaland wearing a big bright red shirt with a giant blue cross on the front of his chest. When I think of Finland's iconic Jari Litmanen or Teemu Pukki, in my brain, I see a white shirt with blue trim. When Zlatan scored 4 goals for Sweden in 2012 against England, what was he wearing? A yellow kit with blue trim. Bicycle kicking his way into my brain forever. When Iceland knocked England out of the Euros in 2016, there's a very iconic image of them celebrating burned into my brain. And in that image, what are they wearing? It's a blue kit with a white stripe, a red stripe, a white stripe, and then blue again. And then finally, when Denmark's Mikkel Damsgaard scored a worldie of a free kick at Wembley against England, what was he wearing? A red kit with white trim. I knew the flag collar combinations all along. I just underestimated myself into believing that it was something I couldn't learn because I thought I would get confused. There is a lesson for all of us in there. I hope it helped you as much as it helped me. That has been a real big breakthrough for me this round, and I'm really glad that it happened, and I'm really glad that we all get to share it together, even if I do look a bit dumb. Anyway, here's round number 5. Oh, this is France, isn't it? Is this where they got the palace with all the mirrors? Or is this Versailles? Or is this... This is really famous, and it's going... northwest, west. We're going Paris. No, we're going France. Sorry. Wait, could it be Versailles? So we've got Versailles here. Here we go. We've got the water. We're going northwest. This feels right, doesn't it? So we're in the middle of the water. Then we've got a big long thing. Yes. It's going to be here, isn't it? We're going to be here. Wow, look at all these different gardens. Right, let's click it. Let's lock it in. 6 meters away. We'll take it. Okay, so that was the Palace of Versailles. Let's learn a little bit more about it. The land which the Palace of Versailles now stands upon was first acquired by Louis XIII in 1623, where he built what Wikipedia describes as a modest hunting lodge by royal standards. Now this is that modest hunting lodge. It's not that modest, and interestingly it kind of looks quite similar to Kronborg Castle from the last round, with the distinct pointed corners. When Louis XIII died in 1643 and he was succeeded by his son Louis XIV, Louis XIV wasn't that interested in Versailles until he went to a party hosted by Nicolas Fouquet in August 17th, 1661. Now, Nicolas Fouquet was a pretty wealthy dude, and he hosted the event at his palatial residence, I'm going to try and say this, Château de Vaux-le-Vicomte? Château de Vaux-le-Vicomte. That's what I'm going with. Here's what it's supposed to sound.
Château de Vaux-le-Vicomte.
Anyway, the party must have been pretty good, because Louis XIV immediately looked around and he went, I want this, but more. And he commissioned the same architects and landscapers to outdo themselves with what would then become the Palace of Versailles. Construction began in 1661, and over the next 128 years, the building works were only interrupted by a couple of things, notably 4 wars, which paused funding quite a bit, as well as the death of Louis XIV, the death of Louis XV, and then ultimately the French Revolution, which resulted in the death of Louis XVI and also the whole of the French monarchy altogether. Now, the building itself has roughly 2,300 rooms, covering 63,154 square meters, and these are not small rooms. The palace is now owned by the French state, and most recently on my radar at least, it hosted the Paris 2024 Olympic Equestrian and Pentathlon events. But we weren't actually in the Palace of Versailles, we were in the Gardens of Versailles, specifically the Parterre des Eaux. I'm not sure on my pronunciation on there, but the
Parterre d'eau.
Parterre d'Eaux is French for a water flower bed, a formal garden terrace featuring open space and flat reflecting pools. The water basins are intended to function as a reflective transition between a building and the broader landscape. Now, the Gardens of Versailles span over 2,000 acres and are home to over 200,000 trees, 55 water fountains, 5 miles of canals, and over 2,100 sculptures. Now, the gardens and parks of the palace were designed by landscape artist André Le Nôtre, which is a really fun name to say, André Le Nôtre. I'm sure I'm butchering that with my English accent, but André Le Nôtre is what I'm going with. I can't, right, be grown up. Now, André Le Nôtre also helped design the gardens and parks of Chantilly, Fontainebleau, Saint Cloud and Saint Germain, as well as the gardens of the Champs-Élysées. André Le Nôtre in the Champs-Élysées. Oh, that is London poetry right there. Just take a moment and say it yourselves. André Le Nôtre in the Champs-Élysées. It is very satisfying. But this video has now descended into me just giggling about a French gardener's name from a couple of 100 years ago, so I think it's time we wrap it up. There we have it. Those are the famous places that I either did or did not know this week, and all of the interesting rabbit holes that they've spawned off. 5 interesting places and dozens of rabbit holes that I've gone down after that game. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making it and researching it, and I really, really hope you all learned something that you didn't know before, because I definitely did. Thank you all very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.